have the amazing Britt White. Oh my goodness.
Hello, Nick. Yes.
Hello. Okay, because you looked at me like I said the wrong name. I was like,
No,
oh
no, no,
no,
no, no.
oh no.
No.
Thank you
Should
so much.
should be used to it now.
Well, see, I called him Mr. Fix It, and everybody was upset. So that's why I'm making sure now that I'm saying the correct name because I do not want my World 1000 fans upset with me. So thank
No,
you so much, Mr. White, for taking the time to talk to me.
not a problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, you always make me feel special when I sit next to you. I appreciate it. So we have Brett from Australia, and one of the things I've learned about Brett is he is not only, as I call him, Mr. Fix It. He also helps so much with others. If I'm not mistaken, I was told that one of the ships that's not yours that you assisted with another team.
Yeah, it was probably back in 2019.
Hmm.
We had a few breakages and things like boats had run aground and basically broke centerboard casings, and we fixed those. And every day was a challenge, really, especially for fixing boats,
Yes.
let alone the people that were sailing. And I remember one unique time that I sailed with Rod, and that was between Jacksonville to Tybee Island, the long leg. We were on a carbon 20, and we were out to sea. We just firstly did the rum line, didn't come in, and it was a good breeze that day, and we actually finished it all in daylight, which is quite unique.
Yes.
And one thing that did happen, I remember, was that the sail came down as we got out through the breakers, and I said to Rod, "Well, we can't capsize this boat to put the sail up." So we went back, gave the other two teams a head start of about 7 minutes. Then we went back out, and we finished probably still an hour in front. So whatever we did, we sailed together. We enjoyed it. It was a unique company, and the stories that he's told me, and we just had so much respect for the ocean and what we were doing. And when we got to Tybee Island, we met a real character there by the name of Chuck Bergeron, and he is a really nice guy. He is Mr. Tybee Island, and he couldn't have greeted us in a much more in a friendlier way. And I have this unique friendship with Chuck still to this day, and that's the story of the Worrell, is people coming together of friendship and everything about the whole event. And I think that's what's dragged me here this time too. Like I've got a daughter getting married in Australia when we get back, and hi Courtney, and and Adam, her fiance, and basically they gave me the permission to say, well, look, you go and do this one, and make sure you come back in one piece, and walk me down the aisle. So that's a little story outside of the Worrell, but yeah, basically I'm chuffed to be involved with it because everybody you meet, they're all friendly, and everyone's willing to listen and learn about what needs to be done to stay on the water and stay safe, and that's what this event's about. The organisers, the same thing, without them, this event wouldn't run. And honestly, I see it as one of the most, it is the most unique long distance catamaran race in the world of this size of boat. There's plenty of big boat long distance races, but you got time to go down and sleep in a cabin and all that type of thing. Um, let alone when you're at sea at night with a broken down boat like we had yesterday with this tack line broken. You just got to put up with what sails you've got, and you'd love to have the spinnaker to get you home when the wind's in the right direction. But looking at it this way, I just feel that I'm really, how can I put it? I'm just so happy to be here and meet new people like yourself, and that's what it's all about.
So you Fogi tapped on something about the world being very unique, one of the unique races
Mm,
outside of the camaraderie that is here in the world. Because Andre just spoke about that as well.
mm.
What else makes the World 1000 so unique for you?
Well, uh, the preparation time for people when the last one's finished, you've got 2 years to think if you want to go and do it again. You got 2 years of having to really need those 2 years to start to think about whether you bring a team together, and it's like this, that you must um, get people in place and get it done early. You've got to make sure that the people that you want to have on board and make the event work, you got to commit. You know, you got to commit. You got to say, right, these are the sailors, these are our ground crew. You can't just do it at the last minute. And if you do, it will work if you give it time. But if you want a unique team like the two Aussie teams that are racing this year, you know, that's like a professional outfit. You know, the guy that's the sailor builds the boats. He also is a damn good sailor, I know that, and seen his results on other world stages of events. But he'd probably tell you one day he'll look back on this and say this is the reason for what he probably sees the Worrell as completely different than racing around buoys. You know, this is to go out there, leave the other boats behind you, but you've still got to navigate. There's a lot of navigation involved, and you got to know where the reefs are. You got to know what the tides are doing, and you got to have a damn good crew too. So you know, your crew and you know, if you capsize at night and you've got to right the boat, your crew's got to be as capable as you are to right the boat in case they've got to get you back on the boat, and vice versa. You know, so that's why I'm saying it takes 2 years to prepare. It takes team dedication when you've got a ground crew that's got to travel up the coast and book all your gear into the motel you're staying. It all comes together in a way that once you've done the first few legs of the race, people start to get the idea of what's involved. You know, there's a lot of oh right, bags out of the car. You know, I actually played a prank on the guy that was in our first Worrell in 2019, and he used to like his sleep-ins, and and he'd forget to pack his bags, and he'd say, "Can you fix that up for me, and I'll see you at the next checkpoint." Well, I did. I packed his bags all right. I'd put all the shampoos from the bathroom in there and the face washes, and he'd get to the next destination, unpack his bag. Yeah, well, he said, "How come I've got all this stuff?" I said, "Well, mate, if you packed your own bags and you didn't have to do this, well, you know, so be it." But that's where there's a lot of fun and you know, banter going on between the not only the people in your team but out around you as well. You know.
I was hearing you talk about the crew, the ground crew, and how important it is. How do you vet or I guess interview the persons for the ground crew? Because I know they have to have a certain type of discipline, a certain
Mm,
determination, and know how to assert themselves and things. Where
mm,
if y'all aren't, or so the manager's not giving them information on what to do, they're just a little bit proactive to know what to do
mm.
because of what they're getting from the manager while you guys are out there. So how do you vet or interview a ground crew?
Well, look, basically, you look at your credentials as a sailor, and then you look at the person that you'd like to have on your team. And honestly, what you do is you then assess the fact that can they fix a boat? Can they rig a boat, put it together, pull it apart, put it back together? You know, that's most important because there's times where the boat will probably have to, if it does come ashore and you've got to dismast it, put it on a trailer and go to the next checkpoint. They're all the things that a good ground crew need to be able to do. You just don't want to have someone that thinks, "Oh, I don't know how to put this together," and so hence it's got to be somebody as equally as efficient as yourself, and have the understanding of what these boats, especially the F-18s, because they're quite complex. There's got an internal, you know, workings sheets under the tramps and internal shock cords that run in the front beam, and you know, if any of those fail, then you've got to hope that the sailors can adapt and still sail the boat. But getting back to your question on finding a good shore team, well, this year we managed to. I dragged my son along, and he is as efficient as I am, you know. So I'm looking forward. Like he's down working on the boat as we speak, and I've got full confidence in him and what he does, and so's Larry too, you know, and basically with Chris Lim, he's brilliant. He gets the foods organised. He does he's Larry's right hand man. You know, like if you you look at your ground crew and you look at the sailors, they all gel, and that's why you need a good ground crew, and that's how a good ground crew comes together. You know, so But yeah, so Chris and Lockie, they're working hard on the boat all the time and hoping to get it. Well, it'll be ready tomorrow at 10 o'clock when we push off. And there's another thing. As a ground crew, you've got to have a damn good pusher. And I know for a fact that we've got one of the best. And
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah,
You guys is pusher.
yeah,
He's on it. I be seeing him out there like you better
yeah,
push. He's great. Like he's awesome.
I
Now
know.
your son that's out there also is that the same one that did your sail for the boat?
Yeah, he was in the motel when he was putting the decals on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him. Yeah, he's got patience. I did the first sticker and I said, oh, this is too much for me. So he took over and God love him. He actually got in there and without any arguments, we don't argue. And he just got in and put it all down and it just come together as what you see on the sail today, you know. And I'm quite chuffed how it looks.
It
Thank,
looks great. It
yeah,
looks real good,
yeah.
and I love the logo. I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, it's all yellow like your bikini. So
I had a yellow bikini on in the hot tub. It was highlighted. It literally
yeah,
highlighted.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
outside of that, I wanted to go over some of the information that I was given. So you were given a special sportsmanship award for the 2019 World as
Mm.
well. How was that accomplishment done? Like, how do you
Uh,
feel about that?
you know, it was Johnny Williams. Hi, John. And Beverly. It was a unique presentation. I didn't see it coming, and honestly, I was quite taken back. All I was there was to help the teams, and as Rod and Kerry and all the others know that that particular event was to get the Worrell back on its feet.
Mhm.
Um, they found this paddle. I'll never forget it. We were cleaning up the beaches at that time. They'd do a section of beach as we came in and, put rubbish in bins and what have you.
Mhm.
And this paddle grabbed John's eye. And he put on this paddle. I must show it to you. Well, not show it to you. I'll give you a picture of it one
I'd
day.
love to see.
Anyway, how I got it through customs to bring it home, I do not know. But anyway, the uniqueness of the Worrell badge and the logo and everything. And I don't know who the artist was that did it. But anyway, I went to a lot of trouble. When we got back home, I made sure I actually lacquered it and it brought it all out. And it's one of the most unique trophies to this day. It's my prized possession, believe it or not. I don't care all about those shiny, cups and all that. But this particular trophy, because of what it meant to me of helping the sailors get to the finish line, Chris Green and Larry and Rod, that's just what it's all about, And again, that's what I liked about the whole event. That I'm, how can I put it? I just I like fixing things. Thanks, John. And that's what he put on the trophy. It was quite funny.
Mr. Fix It. I'm telling
That's
like
it.
this is why the name just fits so well. Outside of the pizza box story that I heard, I keep hearing
Yeah.
stories about you fixing things like
Yeah.
in the most innovative, creative way. So outside of everybody else telling you thank you, I want to say thank you just off the stories that I heard of you
Yeah.
contributing and pouring into and fixing
Yep.
so much for others. I appreciate that.
No, thank you.
One of the things I wanted to ask is being a part of the world and having the stature that you have with the world, because you are one of the ones that people look to again just for
Mm.
great information, experience, and things of that nature. Um, how imperative is it to find new teams to come and be a part of the World 1000?
Look, I think the way it's going, it's not a cheap event to achieve, and to bring teams together, you really got to rely on sponsorship.
Okay.
Having the boats here, and you need to probably consider having a fairly new boat because you don't want anything to break, or it's going to be easy to fix if it does. Um, that's number one. The boat, the spare parts. I know we've got several teams that do bring spare parts, and that's half the camaraderie of sharing those things, and people exchange. And hence that's the reason why we went with the F18 class, because it is an open box rule where it allows everything in the 18-foot class, same size sail, same size spinnakers, same size boats, and that makes it a fair race for everyone involved. But sponsorship is what really the teams rely on. You know, you need either people that can either donate or, you know, whether we do it for a cause like Andre and Gerard with
To clean the
they
water.
clean the waters. You know, that's a great innovation of working some way of doing that as well as coming to sail the event. We also have to look at getting corporate sponsors on board, which could be a good thing in the next Worrell they take up, and I think it'd be a good look if it did happen because logos like hence what I've got on now. This is the Australian new NAC Australian dealer that's in Australia, and he gave us a boat cover, and Larry's stoked. He said, "Oh, I got something." You know, if it's just something, you know, it all helps. We got these shirts even. So um, there was other things. The spinnaker from MEB Sales. Michael made this spinnaker for us and made it to the rules and class regulations, and we're finding it to being a really good spinnaker for the boat. And it's you know, again, it's another part of helping with the Worrell, you know, and all what goes on. So basically, yeah, I think that's where it's all at. You know, it's becoming to that point where if people want to do it, and I mean the committee that put and organise all these motels that we come to, that's what it all has to come and gel together. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen, you know. And it'd be very hard to make it happen if you just thought about turning up,
Yes.
and you can't just do that.
Not at all.
No, so they'll start 2 years. When this race finishes, they'll be on the phone getting the next one organised, you know.
A smart process.
Oh, it is. It's very, you know, it's a matter of making sure that you look at a planned attack of organising, like I said earlier, your teams that are the sailors, and then the boats, and then the ground crews, and you know, there's a list of things. I mean, and then all the spares you got to bring, and what you need to do. But yeah, look, and all the Americans that have been involved with this unique event, there's so many good stories and good followers that come up the coast with you. I've got one that I'll be meeting probably at Okahoe or Hatteras. His name's Todd Hart, big guy. He did it once, I believe, and he'll come down and he'll give me a beer for turning up. So I've got to make sure I make that particular part of the track.
That is so
Yeah,
awesome. We've
yeah,
experienced so many, like you said, those that
yeah.
travel with you guys, the
That's right.
fans, the supporters that come on the beach and want to see you guys pull in or want to see you guys launch out.
That's
That's
right.
an amazing thing. The camaraderie, like they say, not only just with the teams,
Yeah,
but with everyone outside is a beautiful thing. When they, to hear the story from the beautiful Mindy about
yeah.
Mike Worrell, about how it started and how he was out by himself and he had a house, a family on the beach who let him get somewhere to stay,
That's
a
right.
restaurant who was there who gave him food. Like
That's it.
that is still continuing on throughout the entire race. So it's amazing that you tapped in on that because
Yeah.
yes, it does make the world 1000
It
with
brings it
all of
together.
those extra attributes that are adding. So thank you guys for being amazing and adding to the world 1000. We appreciate you. I can't name everybody because I don't have them, but thank you, especially to the sponsors as well for being awesome and adding to the world 1000. We appreciate that. It was something that I wanted to ask because the interview that we did have, the first one, you were saying that you were thinking about, or we may see a father son.
We'll see what happens. Larry's going to talk to me. He said we've got to get some time on some of our competitors, and it will probably happen. Yeah, we're keeping it as we wouldn't say it's a secret weapon, but it's well, put it this way: I want my son to have a go. You know, it's the next future of what the Worrell Sailors are about. They want a taste of what we're doing right now. I think it's important that you let the young ones have a go. I can remember back with my mates Rod and Ian Bashford, and they were young too. You know, they started in their 20s, and an adventurous group of guys being young is probably a good way to go. You don't want to wind up getting too much older like I am at the moment, and come off a boat and try and swim after it. You know, they're the things you got to remember. That brings the next best team along in the following years, you know. So, yeah, so I'm hoping that he'll be on the boat soon. We'll see what happens.
That'll be nice. Any advice, even if it's not your son, but if you were speaking to your son or someone
Mm.
younger who you were trying to have them be a part of the world, is there any advice or tidbits that you would give for them, or a pitch that you would pitch for them to be a part?
My word, look, if you've got the adventure of being out in the ocean for well over 8 hours or more, one have a good mind and you've got to concentrate all the time. It's not something you take lightly because the wind can come from anywhere. You've got to be looking at your boat and making sure everything's working in sync, and everything's got to come together. Um, for the younger ones that are wanting to do it, my advice is do it. Get in and talk to the people like ourselves and the people that have done these warrels. I think you know we've got to bleed or blood the next generation of sailors into this event, because that's what will make the warrel continue on. Yes.
I like that idea because we are trying to broaden the horizon of the world. We want more sailors. We want more fans on the beach. We want more supporters on Facebook and on the website. We want to open this up and broaden it to everybody who's anticipating, who's interested in this. We want everybody to be a part. This is why we're going live. We're trying to share this to everybody. You know, with being here with you, I also noticed in talking to a lot of people, they have a lot of respect for you and what you do
Mm.
and how you've been out
Mm.
here. Is there anything that you can say or give me an experience of yours that you feel like is at the top of your, not just the world experiences, because I hear you're a F-18 sailor all over and outside of the world. So is there an experience that sets apart from every other experience that you would like to share for us and the viewers?
Outside of my daughter getting married.
Well, that's amazing. Again, congratulations. But in regards to sailing,
Uh,
your experience
yeah,
being
yeah. Oh,
sailing.
look, my experience with sailing all different types of boats over my lifetime. I look up to people that have, that respect the sport, and you get a lot of feedback, and you get a lot of, how can I put it, like what you were saying about what are we doing with the next generation of sailors. Well, basically, I look at, likes of say Rod, and there was quite a few like Randy as well. All these sailors are now not getting any younger, and they're the ones that should be humble because they've done so many. And basically, to have that respect coming back to you, and I give it back to them, is what it's all about. I think you've got to you can't just go around thinking that you deserve it. You don't. You've got to work into it to make it happen. And so that's why I like the fact that I'm actually humbled by the fact that if that's the case, that people want some advice, they come up and talk to me, I'm more than willing to give it. So it's not some regattas you do go to. It can be like it's a big secret. You can't tell anyone what we're doing. Well, with this, hopefully it's not. You're all sharing the same knowledge, and it's just one of those things that you've got to look at and say, all those people out there that are sailing the Warrell 1000, they're all got their own uniqueness of being a participant of the event, and we like to see the fact that we can invite more people from outside, from other countries, and hopefully we can get them to participate.
I think we're doing that slowly but surely. We're getting
Yeah,
there.
my
I'm
word.
hearing about all the numbers going up. Bev keeps coming to us, letting us know that you guys are going up in the numbers and in the shares and in the views. Thank you guys so much. With talking to amazing sailors like yourself and all the rest of them that are a
Yep.
part of the world this year, giving that information to them, I think we may see a couple of more new teams popping up. Hopefully, we're gonna keep
Hopefully,
fingers crossed.
hopefully, I think you will. You will,
Fingers crossed.
especially with the great reporting you guys are doing. It's that's what makes it. If we couldn't get this out to the world, there's only one thing I'd like to see, and we might do it yet. We put a GoPro on a boat and just show people what happens at sea when we're sailing. I did it the first year. And I'll never forget it with Rod. I put a GoPro on my helmet, it fell off, and I was filming the trampoline. So there's a lot of good equipment out there, as we all know, and if we can get some good footage outside with one of the teams, that's where it'll also get some enthusiasm.
I think you might be onto something. Brandon, you listening? You heard what he said? We need GoPros on the boats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we thank you for that tidbit
No, that's
to
all right.
give to the media team, because now we're going to work on GoPros on the boat, because I want to see that view of what you guys
Oh, yeah.
experience on the water. I know you guys see all types of beautiful things on the water, like the
Yep.
marine life. Have you encountered any marine life
Oh,
out there
yeah.
thus far during the world?
Yeah, we have. We've seen some massive big sea turtles. Yeah, and it's good. If you do see them come to surface to the top, that's the first thing you want to avoid.
Of course, I
Yeah.
heard those are like
Yeah.
landmines.
Oh, yeah.
Any dolphins or any sharks that you guys have
No,
seen?
we saw pods of dolphins. There's lots of dolphins out there for the dolphin lovers. And there was a whale spotted yesterday. So that was fairly unique. I thought it was a block of land coming up.
It was a whale?
It's a whale, yeah. There's whales and actually Larry said he saw something, but I don't know what Larry's on, but I don't know. No, just joking, Larry. Just joking. But yeah, when you're out there on the water for so long, the best thing when we're doing the Jacksonville to Tybee Island was the sunset. That big red ball just setting. And I said to Larry, best to throw in one more jibe before we lose the sight of that sun, because when it gets dark, it's probably the best time of the year to do this event, because the moon was up there and it was shining on the sail, and you could see the telltales on the sail, and you could a good sailor will sail in the dark virtually by feel, and that's what it's all about. But if you get a bonus of the moon shining on your sails, it actually helps. You can see the bow, what the bow's doing to the boat. You don't want to stick it in and capsize or anything like that, but you've got a bit of moonlight there. That all adds to the uniqueness of sailing at night. But the things that you don't realise is you can't then see any of the marine life that's around if you may encounter something and hit it. But the good thing is you prepare for it anyway. You just keep sailing until you get to your destination, and that's it. Yeah.
Thank you for being such a knowledge of wealth. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, look, pleasure. A pleasure. I can't
Thank you,
thank you
for taking the time to talk to me and to let us know that your beautiful daughter is about to get married when you
That's
get
right.
back home. So
That's the
again,
promise.
congratulations to you. I know it's going to be beautiful. The location looks gorgeous. Can't wait to see the dress. Thank you so much for
We'll
taking
make
the
sure
time
we
to
get a
talking
photo
to me.
back your way.
Please do. It is Makita Lemondale here at the beautiful Folly Beach with the World 1000 race, and I'll be back.
Because